Hello everyone, this is Jennifer and you are watching the Dark Age channel.
There are so many reasons why you got to think about the security of where you live. It doesn't matter if your neighborhood seems all nice and the crime rate is low. When there's an emergency, your current security might not cut it, and that's a big deal. Even in regular times, it's just plain annoying and scary when people trespass on your property without a heads up. Most hunters are harmless, sure, but having someone armed show up out of the blue can really rattle you. For folks like us who are into prepping, tending to our livestock and gardens, we gotta take some serious security measures to protect all the hard work we put in. And let's not forget about our furry friends. The pet safety matters too. So in this video, I'll talk about 9 of the best perimeter security options I can think of. Number 1, dogs. Having a dog can be a tremendous asset to the security of your property. Even small dogs in small apartments can act as deterrents to potential break-ins and thefts because they make a big fuss that can draw attention. Sure, there may be some people who wouldn't hesitate to harm a dog if they had to, but in most situations, dogs are a significant deterrent. On larger properties, a bigger dog can be more effective in terms of guarding and patrolling. For our sheep and property, we use Great Pyrenees dogs, and they have been wonderful protectors. I got my first Pyrenees when I was 15, and I've pretty much had one ever since. One of the reasons I like the Great Pyrenees is because they know how to be a bit mean or aggressive when needed, but they can also be very gentle and loyal as family dogs. Some breeds have a harder time switching between being a guard dog and a family companion, but that's not the case with Pyres. Our Pyrenees are wonderfully loyal and gentle with kids and small animals, but they take guarding very seriously. Number 2, cameras. Cameras can be a game changer when it comes to security. There's a wide range of cameras available, and game cameras are a cheap and useful option. When we were younger and had less to worry about, security might not have been our top concern. But as circumstances change, like more people moving into the area and economic or drug-related issues increasing, the need for security becomes more apparent. Even if you don't consider yourself wealthy, thieves might see your property as an attractive target if it looks like you have something worth stealing. You don't have to be super rich. Just seeming like you got a little something could catch their attention. These days, most people don't keep much cash lying around, so thieves are more interested in finding anything of value they can take. That's where cameras can really step in to help. The cool thing is that there are some really sophisticated cameras available now. Some of them can send alerts directly to your email or phone if they detect suspicious activity or movement. I know a friend who uses Nest cameras, and it paid off big time for her. Just 2 days after she installed one at her business, some people broke in. Thanks to the alert, she could view the video online, and the police quickly arrived and took care of the situation. Number 3, firearms. I believe firearms are essential for defense, especially when living in remote areas where law enforcement response times can be delayed due to distance and road conditions. Also, they can provide the means for hunting during challenging times. However, I cannot endorse using a firearm to scare someone by racking a shotgun or drawing a gun every time there's a minor incident. Aiming at people without just cause can lead to serious consequences. It may get you arrested or escalate the situation unnecessarily. Instead, it's essential to remain calm, collected, and alert. Number 4, using hedges and shrubs. Using hedges and shrubs as natural barriers can be an excellent way to fortify your property and add an extra layer of security. Some examples include hawthorn, buckthorn, wild blackberry, rose bushes, devil's club, and barberry. Of course, you can feel free to explore other plant options as well, keeping in mind your local climatic conditions and growth rates. Number 5, old-fashioned fishhook barbed wire. I need to stress that using old-fashioned fishhook barbed wire is not something to be taken lightly. This is a serious measure and should only be considered in extreme situations when you feel your life is genuinely in danger. I want to make it clear that I'm not responsible for anyone's decisions to use it. Now, if you really find yourself in a life-threatening scenario, you could create a nasty barrier using clear fishing line and small egg hooks used for fishing. Just tie these hooks on the lines every 4 to 6 inches. You can adjust the spacing according to your needs. These egg hooks are sharp and can really dig into the skin, making them quite difficult to remove. Placing these hooks at face or neck level can cause serious damage and act as a deterrent. But please, think very carefully before resorting to such measures. In a SHTF or collapse scenario, it might provide some additional protection, but again, this is not something to be taken lightly. Number 6, barb wire rolls. I gotta admit, I'm not a big fan of barbed wire myself, but you know what? It does serve its purpose when it comes to perimeter security. Around here, it's still one of the main choices for cattle fencing, and it's cheap too, at least until you have to deal with vet bills or lose an animal because it got tangled in the wire. Ouch. Those very characteristics that I don't like about it actually make it a pretty effective solution for securing your perimeter. You might wonder why not go for razor wire instead, right? Well, it's not something just anyone can go buy at the local feed store or home improvement place. In many places, there are laws against regular folks owning it, and honestly, that's probably for the best. While I'm emphasizing the importance of security, you also don't want to go overboard. No need to turn your property into a war zone, right? Now, the barbed wire typically comes in 1,120 FET rolls, and you can add it to the tops of fences or use it to barricade specific areas if needed. Sure, it can be cut, but it does create an extra barrier for anyone or anything trying to get through. Climbing over a barbed wire fence is definitely no walk in the park. In fact, a woven wire field fence with barbed wire on top is quite the challenge, and it'll deter all but the most determined intruders. So, while it may not be my favorite thing, it does have its perks when it comes to keeping your property safe and sound. Number 7, red brand, field fence. If you're living on acreage, it's definitely worth considering fencing your entire property boundary, or at least a large portion around your home. I can tell you from experience that it's something we regretted not doing when we first moved up here. Back in our mid-20s, we were trying to figure out how to finance building a small house, so we went with electric fencing and dealt with animal escapes for years. Let me tell you, it was a real struggle. Looking back, we wish we had just invested a few $1,000s to fence the whole place in woven wire field fence from the get-go. Doing that would have saved us so much time and energy. Grazing would have been a breeze, and we wouldn't have had to deal with all those stray hunting dogs or people wandering onto our property. It's one of those things you learn with experience, but if I could give some advice to anyone in a similar situation, I'd say investing in proper fencing is totally worth it in the long run. Number 8, good fences. You know, sometimes we don't have much say in the fences we got, especially if we're renting or living in a neighborhood with existing dividers between lots. Making repairs to those fences is one thing, but if you try to put up a big fence where there was just a little chain link one, the neighbors might think you're a bit odd or find it unsightly. Now, where we live, it's a dead-end road on the side of a mountain, and it's pretty much accessible only by 4x4 vehicles. So, when we get a visitor in the middle of the night, it sets off all our alarms, let me tell you. We had this one scary incident when a utility vehicle crossed a downed barbed wire fence and pulled up to our driveway and house past midnight. You can bet that got our hearts racing because out here, the chances are, if someone's out like that, they're probably armed. They ended up taking off into the woods with their utility vehicle. I knew they were long gone and they were likely just out drunk, joyriding or something, but with all the home invasions happening in our county at the time, we were on high alert. And it was downright unnerving. So I really recommend getting a fence that offers a barrier, but still allows you to see what's going on around you. That's what we did on our property. All these people wandering in, hunting, or just snooping around pushed us to finally fence off the rest of our perimeter. It took a whole bunch of field fence and posts because our property is quite big. But hey, better safe than sorry, right? Number 9, signs on your property line. All right, so if you've got some land, it's important to cover your bases when it comes to trespassing. Posting signs on your property is a must to make sure you're legally protected. Now, the rules for how many signs and where to put them can vary, so check out the laws in your city and county. In our neck of the woods, we gotta have signs every so many feet, and they gotta be at least 8 inches by 10 inches to count as legally valid. And here's the deal. If anyone crosses that boundary without your permission, you've got the right to press charges. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you gotta protect yourself from an intruder, having your property properly posted and fenced gives your claim of trespassing a whole lot more weight. You see, when someone goes ahead and jumps your fence to invade your space, the law tends to be more understanding than if they just happen to wander in and cause some trouble. Believe me, a lot of these cases turn into a he said, she said kind of thing with no big-time witnesses around. So having everything in order helps you avoid putting the heat back on yourself. It's all about covering your behind and keeping things on the up and up. And those are all the different perimeter security options I can suggest. Let me know if I missed anything by commenting below. Please like, share, subscribe, and click on the little notification bell too, so you don't miss out on our new videos. Until next time, thanks and God bless.